New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the High Vibe Hour here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm Reverend Skip Jennings. I'm an author, a teacher. I am a retreat facilitator, and I'm also really incredibly excited because Reverend Julie kept going in and out. I'm going, where'd she go? Where'd she go? My heart started rushing, and she's here. So that was a moment there. I was like, where'd she go? Where'd she go? So I'm so grateful that you're back in.
I'm having one of those mornings, man. I'm working it out. I am Reverend Julie Moret. I'm a spiritual teacher and inspirational speaker at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. And I think mostly in this moment of my life, I am called to be a moment of calm, a moment of peace, a moment of nurturance, a kind of respite in the storm. And I'm really grateful that we're here today. Just loving being together, even with me darting in and out of camera.
It's great. I love it. It keeps us on our toes. It's like, okay,
yes,
all right. And knowing that, it's all in good in the hood. I say all good in God's hood. Hey, I know we're going to go into some really incredible, deep work today and talking about some really incredible things. But I just want to take a moment just to catch up with you because we were off last week and we did a replay. And thank you for everyone who watched the replay. What's been going on with you? What's been happening this week? Can we catch up?
Fun week. Yeah. So I went to a movie premiere for a movie called Relationship Goals that comes out, I believe, February 4th. And it's got Kelly Rowland in it from Destiny's Child and Cliff Method Man Smith, and Pastor Mike Todd is in there. And it was just, it's like exactly what's needed. It was a breath of fresh air. It's sweet, it's fun, it's light. Kelly Rowland is adorable. And then the whole cast and director and writer and producer and everybody gathered together. And so we had a movie premiere, and then we had a breakfast and conversation. And it felt so good to be in this really elevated group of people talking about love and how to love better, and it was sweet and funny. And so I had just a really fun experience getting all dressed up and glammed and all the things and going to Hollywood.
Oh my goodness. I listen, I love the fact that you did that. And I remember the last red carpet that I was on was actually, I went to the Grammys one year, and it was one of the last Grammys that Prince and Beyonce played together. They actually opened up the show together. I have a love-hate relationship with red carpets. And I don't know if, I love it, but yet it feels so foreign to me because I'm not there all the time. How was it being on that red carpet?
So fun. So I know these people. There's Michelle Duffy, Clyde Duffy, and Kendall Duffy, and they own D3 Entertainment, and they do a lot of really big films. And they do, like they did one of the Black Panthers, but they do a lot of faith-based movies. And so they're beautiful, beautiful people. When I facilitated the Frequency Factor class at Agape last year, Michelle Duffy, the CEO, came on and she shared her story. Like they lived out of a car for a while, but she and her mom especially just kept them trained on all things possible consciousness, all things possible consciousness. And so she would dream of not living in a car and living in a beautiful place and being able to share her gifts. And I mean, she's worked with Oprah and, she's out there. And so her story is so compelling, and they're these beautiful, beautiful people. So any chance I get to kind of hang out with them and is always super fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That is so cool. I made a conscious decision I think it was last week or the week before. I don't want to hang out with anyone who doesn't bring me joy. Because there's a lot of people that are around me that is not bringing me joy these days. There are
Oh wait, I want
people.
to tell you something. I want to tell you
Okay, go
something
ahead.
so funny. So
Yes,
I have
yeah,
a
yeah,
group of women that I'm in a women's group with, and we travel
yeah.
a couple times a year together. And these women are really accomplished and they're elevated. But I
Right.
hadn't done a lot of women's groups beforehand. So the only basis I had is like the Real Housewives shows. So
Oh,
so I was imagining before I went on the first trip, I'm like, okay, are there going to be cat fights or like what's going to happen? And like this group of women, I'm leaving right after the show today. Like there is
mhm.
not a drip of gossip. Everything is so like this, but it's so funny that
Oh,
I had that in my mind, like, the Real Housewives of you
mm.
name it.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I love that. I love that. No drop of gossip anywhere.
Not a sight. How about you? How's your
Nonsense.
week been?
This week has been really interesting. I've had an amazing time preparing to go to Bali.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, and I keep saying we, and whenever I say we, I'm talking about God, me having a conversation. I have many conversations with God. In fact, I can have a conversation with God on the podium when I'm speaking, and God saying, say this. I'm going, nope, I'm not saying that. And so I say it. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm having this incredible time really building a retreat, having fun with it. What can we do for more fun? What can we do? I'm visioning. I want to have some games, fun time, and all that. And I keep hearing 20. And I'm going, okay, whatever, God. 20, I'm going to go 20 at school. On Wednesday night, the 19th person signed up for the retreat. And
Okay.
I had been like, okay, so I decide I'm going to plan with a joyful heart, having fun with it, and researching all the research around retreats and bringing people together and icebreakers. I've just found myself in a place of absolute joy. And I don't know if it's joy because I'm going to Bali. I'm
Yeah.
just so excited to go away, to get out of this kind of environment for right now, but to have fun. I want to have more fun in my
Yes.
life. I want
Yes,
to have
yes,
more
yes.
fun. And it's nowhere we cannot, it's nowhere written that we're not here to have fun. In fact, we're here to enjoy life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So how
the
are you
other
enjoying life with your tea today? What are you
Well,
drinking?
okay, I'm drinking this is incredible green tea mixture that I made. It's green
Uh-huh.
tea. There is sucha tea in there. There's rice energy in there, and also there is little bits of jasmine leaf I cut off. So I'm making my own tea. Kind of it feels really really good. It's like yeah, I'm the tea person. Only thing about tea
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
it's a diuretic. It's a diuretic, right?
Okay.
It cle it releases all the water. It's a natural diuretic. So when you drink tea, be ready to pee, baby. Because and I drink tea all the
TMP.
time. Wait a
TMP.
minute. So I get T and P. I got to tell you, I'm standing there teaching this running class, and thank God I don't have to run. I'm just a coach. The room is packed, 18 people, treadmills all packed, and I'm sitting there halfway into the class. My bladder starts talking to me. And I'm like, okay, come on, God. And when you're trying not to think about something, you know what you think about and where your attention goes, the energy, the energy explodes, baby. It explodes. My kidney was like, and time we were finished, and right before we did the abs, I said, y'all, forgive me, I'll be right back. That was the best pee I ever had in my life. It was so good. It was so divine. I was like, I release and I let go. I understand now
Oh my God, that's so
the
funny.
deeper meaning of that song. I
Oh,
release and
please.
I let go. So
Yeah.
it's
So
been,
for those that are tuning in for the first time, what we've been speaking about a lot lately is, what are some of the ways that you nurture your body temple? And a simple
yeah.
one is by what we take in, foods and beverages. And so we've been really looking at kind of medicinal tea, using tea in a medicinal way. And one of the things that's really been up for me a lot is keeping my heart open at this time. I'm seeing a lot of things in the world that don't feel right, that concern me.
Mm,
And I want to like be able to keep my heart open, because ultimately love is the only thing that really
yeah.
heals, like ultimately. And so
You see the
today,
t-shirt? This is
all
my new
right,
t-shirt.
what
Love
does it
is the
say?
answer. Love
Oh,
is the answer. It
that's
will be released
beautiful.
in about a month. In about a month, we're redesigning all my t-shirts. And love is the answer. That is truly the answer. And that's what I believe. So it's funny
I
that you
love
would
it.
say that.
So wait, is that on, is it like skipjennings.com? Do you have a
It
shop
will
on?
soon be there. I have a shop that I've had since the pandemic called the awakeshop.org. The awakeshop.org had the awake, like we're waking up, awake, the awakeshop.org. It's being revamped right now. I have a team of people that are working on this as we're launching the book. We're redesigning the store. So I have a whole team of people working the redesign. I worked with a designer, took what I created, and she redesigned it. She put the hearts around it, the answer around. She really did a great job. So this has been another part of that's been bringing me joy, is redesigning myself and stepping into the next phase. Yeah, so that's going to be on the
Love
Wake
it.
Shop coming up. I say in about a month. It'll be up in about a month.
Very cool.
And
So
what are you
today,
drinking? What? Oh
so look
yeah,
at this. This is one of the
oh,
things I'm doing for this women's group retreat that I'm
yeah.
going to. I made a raspberry chocolate ganache vegan tart that is like unbelievably delicious. People that aren't vegan love
Oh
it. But
oh
I put like rose petals all around it, and then I'm drinking
oh
rose petal tea. And it is like, first of all, the smell is so
oh my
yummy and light,
goodness.
and so I'm really wanting to anchor, I'm wanting to anchor love, like love anyway, love
Mm.
in the midst of everything that's happening, love, and knowing that love is the answer. And um
How do
I
you
want to be like
find?
a, go ahead.
I was going to say, how do you find the right balance?
Hey Liz.
Because if you put, hey Liz, if you put too much rose in something, for me, it can have a little kind of. And I love rose, but I've always over rose things. I've over rose recipes. I put too much, because too much of rose is for me. How are you finding? Are you
Do like a
intuitively going
tablespoon.
in?
I do
Okay,
about a tablespoon of whatever dried, like whether it's dried chamomile flowers or whatever I'm working with. I
yeah.
do about a tablespoon, and it just has a light thing. So, um,
Mm.
yeah,
I smell the
yeah.
roses now.
So,
I smell the roses. That's awesome. Yay. And how long are you going to be away for? Just the weekend?
yeah, yeah. I go
Okay,
from that
good.
to another trip. I have like a couple back-to-back trips, so
Oh my
things are good.
goodness.
Hmm.
Things are really, really good. So we're gonna go and do a deep dive on some things that we've been noticing and experiences that have been happening. And I believe, and this is where I'm asked everyone to please research the Agape International Spiritual Center, y'all, and listen to Reverend Michael's talk last week. And Shaka Khan was there. It was so freaking amazing. Again, I got the chance, and I think you were there the first time that Shaka came and she sang Secret Place. I was in the chorus that sang behind Shaka. So I've backed up Shaka Khan, which is amazing. But it was great to see her come back again at the Saban and do it again. And it was absolutely beautiful. I love Shaka Khan. I love her, what she brings, and her meditations are so important right now. She's bringing these meditations that are blowing the internet up. One thing that I do love about our teacher friend Michael Beckwith, when he is in that zone of speaking truth to power, because that's what I felt this talk was. He was speaking truth to power. He really invited me to look at what's going on this planet and do something. I mean, I'm already doing something, but what else can I do to make a difference? This is what he was talking about, was what's been going on in Minnesota. And we know that we've had two, I want to say, killings. Can I say that? We had two killings. Renee Good, and we also had, Alex Jeffrey. These people that were killed in the streets, right? Petty, that was killed in the streets by our, this government organization of ICE, which for me, I have a whole thing about that. I'm not going to go down there. But the truth is, he spoke truth to power, saying, this is Klan action. This is how it used to be, where, they're wearing masks. And I really never thought about that. And then he said something else that was very, very important. He says, you see, this government is afraid because they're killing white people. They've always killed black people. I'm going, I have to go back. And there have been moments where this deep interruption and uprising led to change, like Kent State, or we go back all the way into the times where we're rising up in the civil rights movement, the March on Washington, where everyone came together and people were present. It was the coming together that made the difference. That just blew me away. And I think that's one of his best talks. And you were there. Were you there in the space?
Oh yeah, I was. So I was sitting. Stevie Wonder was sitting to my left. Chaka Khan's in front. Reverend Michael is to my right, and it was such a moment of truth being spoken. And as an audience member, I don't know how many times we gave a standing ovation in the middle of his talk. Like, we were all constantly standing up. And when we finished, Chaka Khan, I have a little clip of it. I already showed it in my stories once on Instagram. I'm going to do it again. Chaka Khan went over and like claimed Agape International Spiritual Center as her home spiritual center.
I saw
said, this man speaks the truth. Like, he speaks the truth. And so that was a really powerful moment. And yeah, it was I was speaking with Reverend Michael Beckwith this week, and we were talking about, like, when something happens, there can be a moment at first of like, wait, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Because it can be so kind of discombobulating. Like, I think what I'm like just I remember exactly where I was. I was in my closet when the video of George Floyd first came out. And I remember looking at it, and I kind of like crumpled down on the floor in my closet. And I remember watching it a few times because I thought, I must be mistaken. There must be something I don't know. There must be. And then, and I'm normally not very political or controversial, but I just remember like pressing send and posting it, and all I wrote was murder across the top. But it took me several seconds. And so when I watched the shooting of Renee Good, and when I watched the killing of Alex Preddy, it was like those first few seconds of, well, what's the whole story? What's going on? What's happening? And no matter what, the end is not justified. What these results are not justified. And it's really something, for everybody to be woken up to. I have a quote. Can I share my quote?
Oh, absolutely. Please.
I have been reading this nonstop. And some people think, like, I remember when I first started sharing this quote several months ago, and people thought I was being a little like hysterical or, something. But I think it's very important. The topic that we have today is moving from complicit and complacent to clear and catalyzed. And what that means is, it's very easy to be lulled into crazy. It's very easy to be kind of normalized into what is not acceptable. And so it's more important than ever that we stay awake. And so this quote comes from a German pastor, Martin Niemöller, and he wrote, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, but I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew.
Hmm.
Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And he was a German pastor that when in the 1930s, late 1930s, he saw Nazism happening, and he was kind of complacent. Like, he didn't really go one way or another. It wasn't impacting him. And then finally, he started to speak out, and he was actually sentenced to Dachau concentration camp for speaking out. But he eventually realized that his complacency, like he needed it, he needed to speak up, and so his words serve as an indictment of passivity and indifference, an
Oh my
indictment of
God.
passivity and indifference. And when I hear that, it makes me really want to check my own life. And like, as you mentioned earlier, what is mine to do in this time? What is mine to be in this time? And part of it is I feel like I'm a counterweight. I want to be a counterweight of calm and of love and peace, because everything's frequency. So if I can be a counterbalance of the frequency of um, calm and ease and justice and right action and love and harmony, that's important. And then
So
what else?
important.
Yeah.
So important. I want to get this up here because people need to read this. I'm thinking, yes, I did it. I knew I could do this. I think this is such an important. Let me pull this banner down so everyone can be with this and read it and hear it from the heart. Hear it from the heart space. Because this is such probably most profound reason why we must stand up. We must rise up because we're
And
one.
yeah, and you know what? It's like I want to really, really feel into this, because there's so
Yeah,
much happening in the world that if like, okay, what's mine to do on all the different issues, it
right.
can be overwhelming. It's very strange to me that I'm not seeing the protests that are happening, the murders that are happening in Iran, like nonstop on our news. That's very strange to me that I'm not seeing some of the things happening around the world on our news in the United States. Um, so my first step is to work within my consciousness. And that's something we can all do, to keep focusing on what is the world that I do desire? What is it that I do want? Because, astrophysicists say if you wave your hand in one place, it does have ripple effects that extend to the farthest star. One of
Yeah,
our mutual friends, Reverend Narges, was sharing, she's, been in touch with people that are in Iran right now. She's Iranian. And we're getting like a fraction of what's really happening.
fraction, a
And
fraction.
so the degree to which, but they feel us. That's, I think I shared that post last week where the Iranian people, they're getting glimpses of the marches happening around the world, and it buoys them up, like it matters. So our consciousness matters. And in the next half hour today, we can do some things
Yeah,
so that we don't leave here overwhelmed by all the terrible things happening, that you can feel the power of you through a simple like convicted consciousness, choosing
I think.
love, choosing to see the world you do want. And then as you're
Yeah,
called to take an action, then we take whatever actions we're called to take. Does that make sense?
absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, and I think it's very important for us to. It's very easy for us in our New Thought communities to not want to know what's going on or to really not watch the news. I haven't watched the news for a while, but recently, of course, I have been watching the news, especially what's going on, just to inform myself and really putting up not a wall, I want to say a boundary of how much I'm going to take in,
Mm.
and just doing the research. So this is Minnesota, y'all. This is only about Minnesota that I'm talking about here. But in the past several weeks, Minnesota has become a major focus point on this national debate around ICE. And ICE, this the immigration and custom enforcement. Listen, I don't care if you're for ICE or not for ICE. This is a humanitarian thing. We don't kill our people in the streets for doing and speaking out freedom of speech and freedom to bear arms. And I'm not an arms person myself. I don't believe it. But if that is why you're using this information to go after someone, then you're being a hypocrite. because 1 minute is good for you, but it's not good for others, and that's a whole nother story. But here's the things I think we need to look at. 37-year-old Renee Good, 37, shot and killed mother. And that just broke another layer in my heart. Then this incredible man who was a ICU nurse who helped veterans hold space who have crossed over, he was 37 as well. He was 37 as well. So these lives of people who are here to make a difference rising up, it can be very scary to step forth and go, I got to do something. But I believe if we don't, it's going to affect all of us, just like this incredible reading. So I want to say this: silence normalizes the harm. Back in the day when we were, and I say we because I'm a queer Black man of a certain age, back in the day, I was a part of a group called ACT UP in Queer Nation that we protest about, and we rose up for the AIDS epidemic that was happening at the time. We were losing brothers and sisters by the thousands, and the government would not do anything. This is thousands in the month, just dying. We would have a slogan that says, silence equals death. I truly believe this is the same time here that we got to look at. Silence will normalize the harm. And if we don't say something, if we don't speak out, righteousness in metaphysics means right action. So the right action is, we look at Yeshua ben Joseph, some people call him Jesus Christ. He went into the temples and he turned over the tax tables and said, not in my Father's house. And for me, that was him speaking to the government. Of course, they crucified him, and sometimes because he was so political, but he stood up for what was right. And when we do this, we look at what happens to happenings locally in Minnesota. This is a representation of what's happening all over the world. So we can look at Minnesota saying this is not the only place. It's happening in the Congo. It's happening in certain parts of Asia. Indonesia had a rising up recently as well. Iran, these people, we are tired and we want to rise up for a world that works for everyone. Part of this work for me has been, what does that look like? A world that works for everyone. It starts off with a world that doesn't kill people for speaking their truth. That's the beginning for me. As a Black man living in America, I want to be free to speak my truth. And it's one of those things I believe. My family, I think I mentioned this last week or the week before Martin Luther King's birthday. My family's from Selma. And my family has been on the protests from day one of civil rights. They've been, and this is running through the family. And can you imagine if there was no March on Washington? Can you imagine if Martin Luther King didn't stand up? Can you imagine if Gandhi didn't stand up? Can you imagine if these individuals did not stand up to speak truth to power? Where would we be right now?
I want to add something in here that's, I think, a really important piece for the part of those of us that take issue with what's happening, whatever it is that we take issue with. There is a way to effectively speak your truth, stand up for what you believe, march. There's a way to be effective with it. And I remember I had the opportunity, I spent a lot of time with Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King. And I was able to read some notes that Dr. King gave to all the protesters before big marches. There were rules. And if they didn't think somebody was in like the mindset for it, he would ask them to stand down. So there is a kind of maturity and organization that is needed, that's important to be effective. And I think that's one of the main complaints that I've heard from people who are civil rights leaders that commenting on what's happening today is that there needs to be more of an organization. There needs to be more of more discipline or maturity around it. And I just want people to be safe. You know what I mean? As
What are
safe as
some of the
possible.
rules? Do you remember some of the rules? Do you remember some of the agreements that people would have?
Gosh, I'm seeing that piece of paper in my mind. It was they were practicing nonviolence.
Nonviolence,
So
yes.
they weren't going to be throwing things back. They weren't going to be,
Yeah.
throwing projectiles or things like that. One of the things that I read was for they were going to be going into a restaurant, and they were just to sit there. And like, if you don't think you can, they used to have sessions where they would practice with people spitting at them
Right.
and harassing them,
Right.
and so, and I'm not suggesting all of that. I'm just saying, like, we had a congregant at Agape that rolled up on an ICE facility a couple weeks ago and just started screaming, cursing at them, top of
Mhm.
her lungs. And there were a bunch of ICE agents out, and we're seeing that their behavior is very thug like. So
Mhm.
that's like, the rage is
Mm.
understandable, and what's going to be effective. And I'm really not like trying to be slap a happy face on any of this, but there is a power in rooting into what do you want as opposed to what you do not want. There's a
So
power in
question,
anchoring. Yeah.
just a question. I love this conversation. This is so deep for me. Do you believe, because I had this conversation debate with a younger person that, that I work with, crew fitness, and the question is what we did in the 60s effective for what's happening now with ICE and with the way we have a president that is very thug like? I mean, are
Mhm.
we, and then I go back to that teaching that we know that hate begets more hate, love
Mhm.
begets more love. And I can say right here, Rev, I am kind of feeling, what's the answer? Do you remember our governor? I think he stopped now. He was trolling Trump for a long time, and everyone was go Gavin, go Gavin. Yeah, that's the way you do it. And something in me was like, is that really the answer to troll at the level? So I'm answering my own question, because we cannot solve the problem on the level of the problem. I just answered my own. So you want to jump in there?
But, like, I even heard somebody speaking the other day about, if people decided to boycott certain things for a
Yeah,
period of time, like, if numbers drop, like, hit people where it matters. If the government cares about X and we stop doing X, then that's going to get their attention. So there's like smart things that can be
sure.
done. I just, I think in order to be effective in anything, whether it is our personal lives, where am I
Mhm.
complicit and complacent in my personal life, and where do I want to be clear and catalyzed, meaning active in my personal life, the first step is to calm our nervous system down enough,
Mm,
regulate our emotions enough that we
yeah.
can have clear executive thinking so we know what is right to do. Like
Yeah,
that congregant that was just in rage, that could have gotten that person killed. So I'm being a stand today for
I
taking
love
care
it.
of your own nervous system and your emotions enough that you can get that divine guidance of what is mine,
Yeah,
right?
I went to one Black Lives Matter. Um, it was called a protest at the time, and I'm choosing not to use that word, protest, uprising. And I remember being there and feeling very, very uncomfortable. And I just took a moment of contemplation. What is mine to do? And what I heard was, hold consciousness while these uprisings are happening. Hold consciousness.
Mhm.
I think the only way to do that is to go into prayer, meditation, to hold peace. I said this on Wednesday on our healing service at North Hollywood. I said, I love that last line that Michael Beckwith and Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith wrote. Um, Om Shanti, when there's peace in my mind, there'll be peace on the earth. And I
Mm,
felt that is the answer for me to start with. Where am I being chaotic and having a protest in my own life with me?
mhm.
Where can I be more peaceful with myself so I can then hold peace for the planet?
Right, right. we're gonna. I know we need to do a commercial break,
I,
but this is gonna get juicy,
I
and then we'll do
wanna, I
some
wanna.
exercises to help anchor this for ourselves. Okay, and keep drinking your rose tea. My rose tea.
You know, it's so funny. I just looked up in time. It's like, oh my God, we have to do something. Okay, we'll be right back, you guys. We'll be right back.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Science of Mind Saturday Conversations. Learn more about the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life. Join our team of experts for a weekly deep dive discussion. Come study the science of mind, chapter by chapter, and resources from the Science of Mind archives. Plan to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on the New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
And we're back. Hey. You know, Rev, I was thinking on the commercial break, for myself, I think the biggest fear for me, and not even fear, I'm going to call it concern and not worry, because I'm not worried, I'm not in fear. I don't want to desensitize myself to what's going on. I feel that's happening. I feel like okay, here we go again. And I felt that during the pandemic. I felt that during George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. I mean, I got really, really angry. By the end of that year, I was just like, whatever. And it took me a while to come back to feeling like what I was doing mattered. It took me a year. I was in Florida. Yeah. Talking about desensitizing myself in Florida. I'm sorry, y'all. That's a whole. I love my brothers and sisters in Florida, but that is one incredible lesson of unconditional love. That's the lesson. If you want to learn unconditional love, live in Florida for a bit of time. Yep. And I just desensitized myself, and I was like, okay. And living in Florida is very easy to do because there's a lot of in-your-face racism, a lot of your-face sexism, xenophobia. It's in your face in Florida, and it's like, I'm not calling out everyone, but it is a culture to allow the differences to ring loud. I don't want to desensitize myself to what's going on again.
I think that's powerful. And I want to say in parts of Florida, that is the case.
Okay, yes.
And on behalf of all people everywhere. And how easy it is to be desensitized. I wanted to share a couple of definitions The
Okay.
topic today was from complicit and complacent to clear and catalyzed. And
Hmm.
so the word complicit means it implies shared responsibility where a person knowingly helps, facilitates, or fails to stop wrongdoing,
Hmm.
effectively acting as an accomplice. And complicity can be active by aiding in the thing, or
Yep.
passive by knowing but not stopping it. So that's a piece here about I don't want to be complicit to what's happening in the world. And it's taken me a beat to be like, oh, wait, is what I'm seeing real? And like that looks wrong. Wait, oh, no, that is wrong. So if it takes a beat, it's because it's so discombobulating when um when crazy is attempting to be normalized by our government or by
Yeah.
any government. So that's
Yeah.
complicit. Complacement is often leading to a lack of urgency or effort or desire to improve despite potential risks, dangers, or deficiencies. It
Hmm.
implies becoming too comfortable, resulting in laziness, ignored shortcomings, and a failure to adapt to changing circumstances. So there's also, I'm looking at where is their complacency? Like, I'm up here in an apartment overlooking the water, like I'm all good. And that complacency goes back to the quote that we opened with. First they came for them, but I wasn't them, so I'm good. Then they came for those people, but I wasn't those people, so I'm good. Eventually they came to me, and there was nobody to support me. So I want to make sure that we do the things to wake up ourselves so that we are not complacent. And mostly what I'm intending for this day is the word catalyzed, to be clear,
Mm.
to do what it takes to get clear about what do I think, what do I believe. And we can only do that when we calm down the nervous system and regulate the emotions. And when you get clear enough, then you can be catalyzed. And catalyzed means to have been moved to action, inspired or profoundly changed by an external person, event, or idea. Much like a chemical catalyst speeds up a reaction without being consumed, a person who is catalyzed experiences a sudden spark of motivation, a change in perspective, or an acceleration in their personal and professional growth. And that is my prayer today, that we
Yeah.
get calm enough and clear enough and have an exhale together so that we can get catalyzed into what is mine to be. What
And
is
the catalyzation is a residual effect. Like what Michael said on Sunday catalyzed something in me that I in turn felt this spark to, and the courage. It takes a lot of courage because you're also
yes,
calling forth vulnerability. Oh my goodness, because I've had the feedback. Oh, Rev Skip can be very political on stage when he's speaking on a Sunday or a Wednesday night. And so part of that was screw what everyone else thinks. I know what I must say here. Not, and I shouldn't say that because I have listeners from my church. I wasn't saying screw you. I was saying with my own self, I got to step into that fiery place. And part of this here where it says protect the most vulnerable. Here's where I love about you and my white brothers and sisters, my non people of color who are willing to step up to the plate and say that we're going to take on this battle with you.
mhm,
Because I believe that's where change is going to happen, where you stop being in the place of, oh, that's not me, so it's not happening. It's like even for those who are allies for the queer community, those who's willing to step up and going, because a lot of times it's easy to go, oh, that's not my battle because it doesn't affect me. And
mhm,
you see it, and it's like it affects all of us. Do these
yes,
least of these, you do it for me. This is what Yeshua was saying. When you do this for the least of these, those who are vulnerable, those who cannot stand up for themselves, you do it for me, for the love of God, for the love of the universe. This was a deep teaching of Yeshua.
yes. And there's a frequency. So for those of us that may feel like I'm not impacted, we are impacted by everything, everywhere, all the time. So the energy that's happening all around the world is impacting our nervous systems. It's impacting our consciousness. So when I think about what can I do? How can I get clear of what I even feel, especially if I feel like I don't feel anything? Because, it's fight, flight, freeze, or appease. I can go kind of numb and be like, I'm not really feeling anything. When I take the time to breathe, when I take the time to sit in the stillness and have maybe my own chant music going, and I'm just quiet and I'm focused on the inhale, I'm focused on the exhale. That's when I start to feel my body again. I feel my heart again. That's when words and phrases, that's when clarity bubbles up. And so I write from that. I speak from that. I share from that. We all have something that is ours to be in this moment. So the invitation is to figure out what helps you get clear. What works for you in a world that is so chaotic feeling? When there's so much distraction, there's so much noise. Do you have a practice on a regular basis? Can we just...
Do you want to take us through one, Rev? You want to take us through a practice?
Yeah,
You want to take us through one right now? I think it'd be great.
Let's dip in right here. So I'm just inviting you, if you're not driving or operating equipment and you can close your eyes and that feels good, just gently close your eyes and take a breath. And on the exhale, release anything that doesn't serve you. Just let it all go. Breathing in full and deep and easy and relaxed. And on the exhale, maybe shake your arms out a little bit. Just whatever, if it's in your personal life, it's in events in the world, just like for our purposes, just let it go right now. Release the buzziness of it. Release the agitation of it. And then the first thing is, notice, do you have legs? Can you feel your body? Are you aware of your torso? It's easy. When you see crazy happening in the world and it's being presented as normal, that's discombobulating. So, and it's easy to get up and out of the bodies. So do you have legs? Can you feel your legs? Can you feel your torso? Maybe take one palm of your hand and start at the shoulder of the opposite arm and just roll it down the full length of your arm and keep doing that. You do that for 30 seconds. It releases oxytocin. It's a way chemically that we let our body know, baby, I got you. I've got you. There's a lot happening. And when I do this, what I hear is that there's a crumbling away occurring. There's something old, something maybe patriarchal. There's something, an old way of being, an old way of doing business, and it's crumbling and it's going kicking and screaming. And so just breathe. And I open into, and I'm not like being airy fairy, I open into when you see uprisings happening all around the world, I'm going to stand on the side of hope. I'm going to stand on the side of trust. Can you decide to feel that there is something emerging that will be sustaining and nurturing and loving and supporting? Can you decide to see the world that you want to see? And that isn't seeing people that you don't like hurt. It's seeing something rising up where there is goodness, where there is harmony. And like, the PhD level of this is to even extend love to the people that you think are the bad people. The way in which they are being incentivized, the way that they are being paid, the way that they are being, given free license. Can we send them some love?
Yes.
And allowing like clear thinking to wash through again. We have seen too many times in history good people that joined a collective, like a group of sheep, because everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is saying it. So in this moment, we get to step out of the sheep mentality and feel in your heart. You can place a hand over your chest, a hand over your belly.
Yes.
And as you breathe, visualize what it is that you do desire. What do you want? Peaceful streets, people feeling comfortable and at ease, people feeling free, people feeling safe, all people.
Hmm.
All people feeling respected and powerful so they don't need to get it in a false way.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
just breathe that in, and then notice as you feel into this, as you feel into the world, breathing into the heartbeat of the world, what's your peace in all of this? Like
Hmm.
if there's swirls of things happening all around and they're all invitations, if you get to the very, very center point of it all, is there a quality you are meant to embody right now?
Hmm.
Calm, peace, ease, harmony, truth, justice, freedom, beauty. Is there a quality of God that maybe you could decide to be for the next week? Maybe you could take that on. I started this hour by saying, I am compelled to be a place of calm.
Yeah.
I'm an exhale right now. I'm that divine Isis, like scoop you up and embrace. We got you, we got you, we got you. What is yours to be? And
Yeah.
maybe you could be that for this next week and just notice if by taking that one simple step,
Hmm.
wearing colors that remind you of that quality, sharing posts that remind you of that quality, getting the feeling tone of it before you go into a meeting or before you go grocery shopping or whatever it is you're out in the world doing, being that quality. And
Yeah.
notice how that creates a domino effect. More begets more in the direction of what you do desire as opposed to what you do not desire.
And as we continue to stay in that field that you lovingly got us to drop into becoming, we can ask, what is mine to do here? Where can I make a difference if I'm being called to do, as many avatars and many teachers have said, there's something that we all can do. What can we do? What can I do? With the intention of feeling this quality that we have called forth to becoming. So, from this place of peace, what can I do to create more peace in the world? It could be a smile, it could be the way I drive, it could be the way I treat and connect with people in the grocery store. What can I do to lift the frequency? What can I do? And as we ask, we give space to hear. And then we connect with the courage that's within us to follow through. What can I do? What can I do? Is it posting some inspirational quote on your social media? Is it showing something that is not right on social media that you feel that you need to speak the truth of love and compassion to? I believe we all have something we can do. It could be writing our government officials if that is your jam, if that is what you're being called to do. It could be putting on your boots from a place of groundedness, of peace, of love, and standing up in righteousness, right action. Maybe there is an uprising that you're choosing to go to hold this peace, to hold the love. Maybe there is just speaking out a word of equality in a space that you know is challenging, that are not ready for it. Maybe you're getting the courage to speak in your family at a family dinner or whatever, saying, this is not right. And I believe that this is a better way. Love, compassion. What is mine to do? So we call forth this space of becoming, and we get into action of what we're becoming. What is ours to do? What is ours to do?
I love it.
Can you believe that we're so close? Because I know you're heading out. I just want to know, what are you taking away from this today? What are you taking away?
My intention, because I'm doing a lot of travel
Okay.
across the country the next couple of weeks, and my intention is to be like a live tuning fork. the energy, the presence of like the divine Isis energy, the divine feminine, to kind of hold the whole world in my embrace, in an embrace of calm and love and support. That's my jam.
That's your jam.
How about
That's your
you?
jam.
What's your thing?
My jam this week is to get out of my head when I know I'm writing a talk on a Wednesday or writing a talk, and get out of my head. Can I really say that? And have the courage to speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That this is not
From
a political
place of
thing.
love.
From a place of love. It's not a political thing. It's not a partisanship thing. This is a thing about the greater humanity, which I believe is a representation of God. So I'm speaking truth to bring on a world that works for everyone. I truly believe we're able to create that, and to still be open to deep meditation work and contemplation. What else can I do? So that's what I'm calling for this week for myself.
And I want to invite those listening, like it really matters to take a second and make a decision. Like, what are you choosing for this week? What do you want to embody that moves you in the direction of what you do want as opposed to what you don't want? And to make that choice. And if you want to share it, share it. I think that is very helpful to like get an internal game plan, you know?
And you said you're going to post some stuff onto your social media. So this is where people can find you.
Yeah, at Rev Julie Moret on Instagram is a great place. My book, What's Your What? How to Ignite Your Unique Brand, is available on Amazon, and it's at a half price. I'm doing that for the next couple of months as I gear up for the next book. So yeah, I'm really excited about this time of like rising in voice. And
absolutely.
How about you? Where can people
I'm on
find you?
Instagram, Rev Skip Jennings on Instagram, and follow me because we do some really incredible, dropping some information of where you can reach out throughout the week. You can get some live events that we're doing here in town in LA, in North Hollywood area. Also go to my website, skipjennings.com, for more information about coaching and new books coming, and the new t-shirt line is coming out very soon. And again, I'm going to say this until we get that 20th person, come to Bali with me. We have room for one more person. Now, if 4 people show up, Rev, say, I want to go to Bali with you, I ain't going to stop them. So the intention I heard was 20. If more people want to come on, baby. You are more, and you are free to come to Bali. This has been so good. I love our times together.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace and blessings. And remember, transformation is a choice. You chose today because you decided to spend an hour with us, right?
Amen.
Hey, Rev, I love you. See you next time.
Thank you for being with us.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.